Everybody, it's Jeremiah again, and I want to talk about my bipolar. I have bipolar 1, and so I want to talk about my story and not necessarily anybody else's. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a therapist, I am not anything in those medical fields, but I do have a mental health issue, or some people want to call it mental health disease or mental health illness. So what I understand with the difference between disease and illness is a disease needs to be cured and an illness needs to be managed, whether it's medically or prescriptions, whether it's doctors, psychiatrists. It's one of them that has to be treated. So anyway, so my version of my bipolar 1, I was diagnosed with bipolar 1 probably like 12 years ago. I had depression for a long time before and wasn't being able to work it out. So doing extra testing for me, it ended up being I had bipolar 1. Being with bipolar 1, I kind of had a mental breakdown. And I ended up on what they call a 5150, which in California means that's a physician doctor lockdown, is that they can look at you and say you're a harm to somebody else or to yourself. And so I was given the privilege of being on a 5150 that I hated. It was the horriblest thing ever. And hospitals, not all, but some, especially the one I went to, they treated us really bad. They was not, they weren't as helpful as they claimed to be. But I know there's a lot of places out there that do a better job. But me being in the place I went to, it really made me feel like I never want to go back there. And sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes that's a bad thing. I kind of had an issue. I don't know, I'm talking about this already. I kind of had an issue a couple of weeks ago. I was having another meltdown, breakdown. I get them like once, twice a year. And it's not that I wanted to do harm to myself, it's just that I just want to escape. And that's my biggest thing, is all about just wanting to escape. Take a time out, shut down, step back, let everything go on, but just escape for a moment. And so I was put on a 5150, go back to 12 years ago, because they diagnosed me that at bipolar 1, and getting told of a diagnosis is two things. One, it's great you have a diagnosis. And two, if you're not educated on it, you think of the worst and that can send you over the edge. And myself, I was not educated on bipolar, and so I took the extreme of I didn't want to deal with it because I just didn't know who I was anymore. Anyway, 12 years later, and medication, psychiatrist and therapist, and a core group of friends and family, I'm in a great position. Though, as I said, I had a breakdown, time out a few weeks ago, and I know I'll have another one again. It's just that I have to be ready for them, and people around me need to be ready. Anyway, so when I'm on a manic episode, which some people really like, I hate. I hate because I know the depression fall is on the other side. And so the higher you go up, the bigger the fall on the other side. And so my psychiatrist always says to me that I am her best patient because I take all my medications all the time when I should to. And I don't ever want to visit the highs again. I do hit them, but they're not as high as they used to be. So when I'm high, when I'm manic, my speech goes super, super fast, and my concentration is not much there. I can have a conversation with somebody, and I can hear one just behind me, and I get confused between the two because I can't shut that one off, and I can't shut this one off. And so all of a sudden I don't have no idea what each conversation was about, and I'm just lost. And so I call that my squirrels. And so I'll say to clients or friends, I got squirrels again. And so we'll go back to finding a place where we left off. Um, I have shopping problems when I'm manic. I shop. I thank for Amazon, but that's the worst thing because I keep shopping and shopping and shopping. And that's not always a good thing. I also get really agitated and emotional pretty quick. I can go from happy down to sad in a matter of minutes type of thing. I do play the work person really well. I kind of do get through work without anybody knowing I'm not in a good state. It also helps me distract from me. So I can concentrate on my job. Whereas when I get home, it's hard for me to concentrate on anything because I'm already in a downward spiral. So your sexual activities increase too. And let me just say, without being too over the top, but my right hand gets used a lot. And that's kind of embarrassing to say, but you just have this drive that cannot be compromised, cannot be dealt with like that. I also lose track of time. All of a sudden I could be sit somewhere and I've dozed off in my head and it's 6 hours later and I don't know where the time went. And I know this happens to a lot of people regular, but this is part of my bipolar that throws me kind of over the edge. I get argumentative easy. Somebody can set me off in 2 seconds. I think because I can't keep up with myself, so I just get angry at myself and my mind's 20 paces ahead, my body's running up behind it and different stupid shit that's flying around and I just get agitated. A lot of times also you get euphoric. You have this like grandeur of yourself. You think yourself kind of a bomb. Sometimes I think I am. But this is about my disease, my illness, disease, whatever you want to call it, that I feel I'm the bomb. All of a sudden when I get too high, I get paranoid. And I start going through that paranoia stage that I do think people are out to get me. And if I'm driving down the street, I think everybody's trying to run me off the road. I kind of get pretty paranoid on what's going on. I've never really had voices, though with bipolar 1, when you go super manic, you can go into schizophrenia, you can level up a bit too high. But I have had conversations with myself. I have to laugh at it now because at the time it was scary, and when I laugh at things, it makes me not be afraid of it if it comes back. So when I go over the edge and coming back down in my depressive states, my sadness is just out of control. It is just so bad. I'm totally in a funk. I just can't get moving. I just can't get going anywhere. I need super sleep. And that's one thing when I'm in my manic is I don't need hardly any sleep. And then my depressive, I need nothing but sleep. I just want to nap all the time. I'm not very good. I withdraw in myself. I step back and I just feel very insecure in myself at that point. I start to slow down and I get exhausted way quick. I do have notes. I don't have a script, but I do have notes. So if I keep looking to the side, it's because I'm looking at my notes. This is one page that I will go over, but this is my medications because I don't remember what I take. So anyway, I feel guilt. I have a lack of concentration. I feel lost, and I get worried all the time. I'm worried about not just myself, but other people, and I get scared for myself and other people, and I just worry a lot. I get really badly worried. My self-esteem goes blah, when I'm manic it goes yeah. Um, so, and also when I'm in my depressive, I can have thoughts of not doing good. I can't say the word because they don't allow you on here, but let's just say I don't want to be around much longer when I'm in that state. I don't hurt myself, but I don't know what to do. And so I have the thoughts, but I'm too chicken shit to do it. I tried it one time before, and it was one of the worst things I ever did. And my brother did it and passed away when I was young. So I knew, no, this is partly in my family history. But I kind of do have to work on myself. Conversations like the manic. I mean, I kind of lose concentration with conversations. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. I do it on both. I always get paranoid that I'm not rememberable. Paranoid about it. I get paranoid that nobody notices who I am. If I meet somebody and I see them again, I always have to wait for them to say hi because I get paranoid that if I go over and say, hey, how are you? And they're going to look at me and be like, I don't know who you are. And so that paranoia is there and I can't get out of that one. And so people think that I am all about myself, and really I'm the furthest from the person who's all about myself. I get disappointed more in myself than anything. And that leads me, oh God, I got sweat. Distracted. That leads me that I like to cry a lot. I don't like to cry a lot. I shouldn't say I like to, but I end up doing it. Sometimes it's just so stressful being me. And as much as some people think, no, you have a great time, you have a great life. Yeah, I'm a great actor. And I should go for an Oscar sometimes, even I do myself. But being bipolar is something that we all need to talk about. Even if you don't have bipolar, we also talk about the different mental health and things like that. And also about symptoms and what to watch out for. Because not always, I don't know I am in a depressive or manic episode. Sometimes I have no idea until I'm out of it. And I get my credit card statement in and it's a little high. But I get all new clothes. Anyway, so I have my list of my medications. I'm not going to put the amount in because everybody's on their own. And if you have a good psychiatrist and therapist and that, they should work out what you need. I'm going to say what I take, but it probably might not be good for you. So, because I can't sleep at all, I take trazodone. I also take Lamictal or lamotrigine, which is a bipolar medication, and I also take lithium. And sometimes I say lithium saved my life. But is that because I feel like a battery? Lithium battery, you know. No, okay, we'll just stick to the medications. Hydroxyzine, which is a antihistamine, but it's also used as a sleep aid. And occasionally we put me onto bupropion. And so that's my cocktails at the moment. I do get them tweaked sometimes. They check them every time I talk to my psychiatrist, which is normally about once every 4 months. And so I talk to my therapist, and so she will kind of say, you know what, we kind of need to address this. So anyway, that's me and my bipolar 1. If anybody got questions or whatever, just send me a message, put something in the comments, subscribe, share it with somebody that has just been diagnosed or has bipolar 1 but don't fully understand it. As I say, I don't fully understand it, but I know what I go through. And sometimes it's nice to see that somebody is going through what you went through. And I just want people to know that I do have a great life. I travel a lot. I work with great people. I have a great family, great friends. I live in great places, and I have a great life, and I can live on. I just sometimes I kind of slip a little bit. But as long as you kind of have an idea, or you have people around you that tell you that you're manic or depressive, and sometimes, as I say, I can go through it and not have an idea myself, or I do understand what's happening. Anyway, I waffle, and I just want you all to know that having a mental health or illness or a disease, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Everybody has a certain degree of it. But we are people, we pay taxes, and we just need to have a good life, enjoy yourselves, and I will talk to you again very soon, hopefully with other topics than about mental health and whatever. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.